Hi, my name is Tim Kelvis and welcome to a quick overview demo of our Custom Motions Made Easy solution. I will be discussing the value and application of this unique motion development tool. If at the end of this presentation demo you would like more information, our email address is simply sales@katronics.com, or you feel free to call us. Our number is shown here, and you can go to our website and this information is there also. So before we get into how this tool works, I'd like to talk about what type of motion application our solution targets. If you have a requirement to move an object in a controlled, precise, linear, or non-linear manner, and are looking for an off-the-shelf solution, this may be what you're looking for. And even if you're not a motion expert, and for that matter, you may have little to no knowledge how to move motors in a controlled fashion, this is an ideal solution. What's really unique to our product is the ability to create these complex motions that require a high degree of control in setting, let's say, the degree of arc or curvature. Until now, these types of motion solutions required hiring a consultant to build a custom motion platform, costing many dollars and long development cycles. So the idea for this solution came from a product we developed for a customer some years ago who required a high degree of flexibility in creating profiles for manufacturing color gradient filters for cinema photographers. So our motion solution is comprised of two window apps and a motor drive electronics box. The first window app is called Motion Composer, and it's used to design and create custom motion profiles. The second app is called Motor Controller. It accepts files from the Motion Composer application and it downloads them to the motor drive electronics, and which then drives independently up to 2 indexing motors. So the Motion Composer application is the front-end standalone tool. It's used by a developer to create a motion profile. The Motor Controller application and the Motor Control Drive Electronics are the back end of this, and these are used in the manufacturing or lab environment. So you create your profiles here, and the file then you can browse and load to this app, and then that controls and drives the indexing motor through the operation. So let's talk about Motion Composer. So the Motion Composer software allows quick and easy development of custom motion profiles, as you know. It comes with this menu selection of various motion curves. They're available to easily create your different types of displacement versus time profiles. Each motion segment can be viewed here and plotted and added or inserted into this table, and the table can then be edited, plotted, viewed at any time during development. And when complete and you're happy with the results, the user just saves the table profile and creates a motor file that can be downloaded to the Motor Control Electronics unit via the Motor Control app. It's really that simple. Our product adapts to almost any custom mechanical fixture through a one-time setup procedure, as I will demonstrate shortly at the end of this presentation. So here's a list of some complex motions supported. This list is just some examples. The number of motions is really too long to list here. Before we move on, I would like to discuss segmentation, concatenation, and nested looping. These are three very powerful features of this tool. Segmentation allows the creation of separate independent motion curves, and concatenation allows the construction/building of custom motions into one profile, creating a serial chain of continuous motion segments. And this is how we build a custom profile using these two features. Nested looping is a powerful feature that allows a user to repeat or loop partial segments within a concatenated profile. It supports nested loops, meaning you can repeat loops within repeat loops. This is very powerful. It allows a user to construct complex repeating motions with just several entries into the table, as you will see shortly in our live demo session at the end of this presentation. So here's the controller app. The controller app works with the motor control electronics and operates autonomously from Motion Composer. The main function here is to load and run motion files created by Motion Composer. It has support for manual jogging. You can control how if at the end of a run you need to tweak the position or something, you can do that. It's an override. Also, there's a timer function here, and I'll talk about that in our demo. But one other thing I want to point out is that this application also runs on, in addition to Windows 7 and 8, it runs on XP. We found that many laptops on the manufacturing floor still use XP, so there's a cost savings not having to upgrade your existing hardware to Windows 7 or 8. Here's the motor control electronics unit. It'll work with any 12-volt bipolar indexing motor. It connects to your PC laptop via a USB cable and accepts downloads from the motor control app. It will independently run up to 2 motors. We will work with you. We have design services that can help you select the motor, and we'll be happy to quote you a custom fixture for your application. So here are some motion profile examples created by Motion Composer. The first profile is made up of 2 segments. The second example is made up of 4 segments. Here's another 2 examples. The first one, very interesting, uses nested looping to create. Nested looping is a real time saver, and you can create some very complex repeating motions with just a couple of entries into the table. The second example is a 2-segment, what I call soft start, soft stop profile. So here's some more example profiles created on Motion Composer. You know, it's limitless the number of profiles you can create, and this tool is just very easy to use. So that wraps up. That's a quick overview. It wraps up our overview of our solution. What I'd like to do now is move on to the demo portion of this video. Thank you. Okay, now that we're done with that short presentation, let's say we take this thing for a test drive and see what it can do. So here's when you open Motion Composer, this is the first view you'll see. The first time you use this, you'll need to go into the Setup menu and modify the motor parameters to match your fixture. In this case, for our particular demo, our linear travel is 0.005 inches per step screw, and we're going to limit the travel from 0 to 12 inches. And this will tell the tool, it describes to the tool what the configuration of our fixture. So again, that's just a one-time setup. When you're done, you just save it, and from then on, the tool will know what the configuration is. So we're back here at Composer, and we're going to create, for our first demo, a linear stepping profile. So let's select a displacement of 2 inches, 1 second, and then we'll add a stall. Let's stall that for 1 second. Let's plot that. And so here we are. The first segment of our profile is a ramp up for 1 second, 2 inches in 1 second, and then we stall for 1 second. And we're going to repeat that 5 times. Now we're going to build and return to 0 using the same stepping except in the negative direction. So we built, here's the segment, and we're going to repeat that 5 times. That's 4 through 5. Add that. Okay, and now we're going to repeat this whole cycle one more time. So we'll set the start segment to 1 and the end segment to 6, and we'll set the number of cycles to 1. We'll add that and plot. And so what we've done here is in 7 lines we've been able to create this profile. And I wanted to point out, and I had mentioned this in the PowerPoint presentation, we're looking at nested repeat loops. So we're able to use repeat loops to create this profile, and then outside that we're able to repeat the entire profile. So let's go ahead and save this. Call it demo 1. So that's saved. And before we actually before we open up the motor controller app and run this profile, let's clear the table, and we're going to create another profile. I call this my soft start, soft stop profile. So using the curve parameters, we're going to create the following profile. We can set the displacement to 6 inches and the time to 3 seconds for the first segment, and we're going to add that to the table. And P5, let's add that, let's plot that. So this is my soft start and soft stop. Something I want to show you here is these curve adjustment feature here, and let's just go back to looking at the P5. If you can actually change the radius of this bend, and you can reposition the bend, you can smooth it out here. So let's say we set this to, let's say 300, and we'll set this to like 4. Okay, you can see we've created a symmetrical bend here. If we were to take out the smooth function, you'll see we've shifted the bend and highlighted it. So, and the other thing too, this rate warning, what's nice about this rate warning is if you exceed the maximum step rate of the motor, the tool knows that and it'll tell you. So it keeps it when you're building your profile, if you exceed the limit of the motor rate, you get some feedback and you'll know. So in this case, I happen to know that it's probably in this area here. And just to show, if we change this to 6 seconds, you could see we give it more time, so we reduce the rate. Okay, so let's go back to our and let's finish this. Okay. How about we add 2 more segments here, and we'll cycle this down and return to 0. So we'll just add P6 and P8 to do that, and we plot that, and that's done. Now we just have to save this. Okay, so here in just less than a minute, we were able to create very quickly 2 motion profiles, and let's go ahead, open up Motor Controller. Again, this is an autonomous application. It runs independent of Code Composer. Browse to where we save the demo, and we can load that. And when we're loading it, what it's doing is it's downloading the file to the Control Electronics box, and you can see it's a 48-second profile. And so I'll go ahead and we'll execute this. I'll turn on my my camera, my high-def camera, and you can actually see this execute. Here we go. Okay, so that was that. Now let's go ahead. We'll browse and load the second demo, and we'll run that. Okay, and that's a quick demonstration of our motion control system solution. I hope that this was interesting and useful. So I would like, if you have any questions and you want to contact us, please do. Here's our email is sales@katronics.com, and here's our phone number. So thank you very much for your time, and have a nice day.